Tomorrow, I'm going to announce the male and female reporter winners and $10,000 in prizes. And you got 2 more weeks, or a week and a half now, for phase 2, $10,000 in prizes for the Obama Dictator contest, hanging up posters in legal, lawful areas. Find out more at Infowars.com. Let's go ahead and go to Chris in Georgia. Thanks for holding. Welcome. What'd you think of that last guest?
She was awesome. She was awesome. Just first off, I just want to appreciate you for everything you do, man. You're a true patriot. Got a quick question for you. I know it's going to be kind of a difficult one to answer, but with things speeding up the way they are, how much longer do you feel like we have before the globalists are going to implement a full-scale collapse?
Well, many areas like Greece have already collapsed into total bedlam, but 6 months, a year, the globalists won't do this right away, or they'll back off a little if they don't think we're going to go along with it. But everywhere where they think they've got their people in place, like Spain and Greece and other areas, they're going to drop the hammer all the way. I mean, they hate the public. They want to impoverish. That's their stated eugenicist post-industrial view. In fact, I'm going to cover that coming up after calls. But, I mean, it's the banks are getting ready. The big mega banks that are just fronts for the private interests that own them, they're getting ready to bring down the zombie banks. And when that happens, when Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, and other Ponzi scheme shell corporations are blown, it's going to make, right now, it's 50-50 that it's going to be road warrior level depression. We're already in a depression, but it's a slow sliding one from recession into depression. And of course, that's on the good side. It is, I mean, now all the main analysts are saying, you better give us everything or we're going to give you a total depression. Well, we've already given them everything, but their plan is the depression. So, I mean, look at this article out of CNBC. Big banks craft living wills in case they fail. And then here's another one. Avoiding a global catastrophe. Larry Summers, who helped engineer all this, and he talks about things completely melting down. Well, I mean, it's mathematically impossible unless we write off the trillion, the 1.5 quadrillion, 1,500 trillion, even hard to say that number. Unless we write all that off, and unless we explain that's not our debt and arrest all these people, they're going to bring us into total global collapse that they're going to organize and pose as saviors with the prostitute, Decepticon, collaborator, Vichy French media telling us they're the saviors. And it is going to get absolutely hellish with staged terror attacks, new wars. They're going to throw everything at us. They have been massing basically on our border. The New World Order has in every city, every town against us. They are surveilling us. They are trying to create attack forces, death squads, and they are just building up the armored bunkers, the pillboxes, the machine guns, the shotguns, the hollow point ammo, the drones for all-out war against us. And let me tell you, they're going to get their butts kicked. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Open phones and the mainstream media talking about total collapse of the banking system. We're going to be getting into that. The latest on Fast and Furious and more. Christians having their churches ransacked and desecrated by Al-Qaeda under NATO command. You cannot make up the magnitude of this ridiculousness because it's just so ridiculous that Al-Qaeda always worked for the bankers, but now it's just admitted. But it's supposed to be good. And Syrian rebels ransack Christian churches. Top story, Infowars.com. Let's go to Bob, Ray, Jason, and others. Let's go to Bob right now. Bob, you're on the air from Illinois. Welcome.
Thanks for taking my call, Alex.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I just want you to know I joined the Mormon Church in 1975, and I was ordained a bishop in 1988. And I woke up to the New World Order by reading Ezra Taft Benson's book, An Enemy Hath Done This, and also Cleon Skousen's book, The Naked Communist. And later I started listening to Chuck Harder on the radio, and he woke me up even further, and then I got Jack McLam's Vampire Killer 2000, and then I started listening to you in about 1988, or 98, I'm sorry. I voted for Ron Paul, so that might give you an idea of where I'm coming from.
Sure.
Like I say, I've been listening to you since 97 or 98. You were on WINI out of Murfreesboro, Illinois. I've enjoyed most of the guests you have on, but you had a guy on by the name of Francis Boyle, I think it was, and he was talking about Romney this and Romney that, and he had me going for a while until he said that Romney was a bishop in the church, and that he had these, all these connections and blah, blah, and then he said then he was made an archbishop in the church. There's not even any such position as archbishop in our church.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of guests on, and I don't even remember Professor Boyle saying that, but I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the Church of Latter-day Saints, but I know some stuff. I mean, was Romney a bishop in the church?
Yes.
Okay, but I mean, my issue with Romney is that most of the Mormons I know are anti-New World Order and awake more than pretty much anybody I talk to. All I know is I've got videos of Romney endorsing abortion when he was governor, and now he says he's against it. And Obamacare. So I'm just talking about Romney himself. He says some good things today, but my question is, could I believe them? Or would I be gullible if I think that, well, the Romney empowered did one thing, but the Romney that wants conservatives to elect him says another. So, I mean, you've got the floor for a minute and a half. I mean, what's your point on Romney?
Okay, well, like I told you, I voted for Ron Paul. Harry Reid's also a member of our church, but I wouldn't vote for him if he was the last man on earth.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah. But with Romney, the Book of Mormon, which was translated by Joseph Smith in the 1820s, talks about the New World Order. And so all Mormons who are Mormons know about the New World Order, and they're against it because they know that Satan is at the head of it. And I believe that there's a possibility that Romney is one of those Mormons, and I believe that when they were talking about Ron Paul him and his wife spending a lot of time with Romney and his wife, I'm hoping anyway that Ron Paul got through to him, and that maybe they're working on some things that will be good for us and that we'll appreciate. But if they are, they can't come out and say it right now, because you know what would happen.
Well, I'll say this. If Romney got in and did good things, I would support him. So there you have it. I'll support anybody who does good things, who does the right thing. I just know who finances Romney. And if he double crosses the New World Order, they're going to come after him. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure. And it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. All right, coming up, there is a cornucopia of mainstream news, financial articles saying get ready for a collapse. The globalist banks are getting ready for total collapse. Well, it's a mathematical certainty that it's designed to collapse. Somebody breaking that down at the bottom of the hour. Also, Issa says gun control agenda behind Fast and Furious. Well, he doesn't say that. That's what the memo showed, was to blame the Second Amendment. I've been telling you this for over a year since it broke, a year and a half. I told you about Fast and Furious 6 years ago. And now on YouTube, they're pulling the C-SPAN clips of the press conferences from 2.5, 3 years ago with Holder and Big Sis Napolitano bragging about their gun running operation and how they were running it. Because they've been caught perjuring themselves. It's open and shut. They go to jail. And I wouldn't believe that ISA would actually go after them. They are so far. And so is Boehner, so it's a good thing. I mean, I would have been happy if the Democrats would have been trying to actually impeach Bush, but they didn't. You've got to punish crime. You've got to punish unconstitutional activity, regardless of who it comes out of. Because then it scares the criminals and the bureaucrats to behave themselves. It's very elementary psychology. Ray in California. Ray, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex?
Yes.
Okay, what I wanted to say was, first off, the plan of the New World Order is containment for extermination. That's the first thing I want to say. And if you can thwart containment, you can eliminate extermination.
Okay.
You want to go on with this?
No, yeah, I mean, just restate what you said, because I kind of misunderstood. I mean, I'm not quite understanding the first thing you said about extermination.
The plan of the New World Order is basically breaking it all down as containment for extermination. They want to contain everything, then they want to exterminate. Okay? God brings life, darkness brings death. And these people are like devil worshiper extremists. They're, you know, like the Skull and Bones. They're into death. That's why they call it the Brotherhood of Death. Okay? And the Skull and Bones are more than you think. They're more than just Yale. They had like sub-chapters in China and Russia.
No, I know that. It's a chapter of the Illuminati. It's chapter 322.
Okay,
but it was the first big mothership out of the German Bavarian Illuminati set up in 1832 by the Russell Trust with public opium monopoly money.
Yeah. There's another thing, too. Prior to the 18th century, both the Masons and the Catholic Church were against the New World Order. They infiltrated the Catholic Church and the Masons during the 18th century and the early 19th century. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, it's all open for debate.
Well, it's on YouTube. There's history about it. Okay.
It's on YouTube. It must be true.
Well, I mean, there's things out there, okay, talking about that during the 18th century they infiltrated the Catholic Church and the Masons. And they want to make the Freemasons into Illuminati Masons. And
yeah, no, that's George Washington's letters that are in the National Archives. You can pull them up. They have those all scanned in, written in his own hand, on record, his letters.
Yeah. So anyways, the next point I wanted to bring up is that I believe that things have changed in 2006. Destiny changed because the fact is that I think the original plan, my contention is the original plan was that Bush was supposed to attack Afghanistan and Iraq and two-front objective on Iran. Iran was the trigger. Okay? And what happened was he failed to do that. And how we know he failed to do that? And do you believe that movies have communicated things to the public?
Well, a lot of movies are put out by people I know, but they're generally more independent, smaller films. But even with some big actors, you know, they have Illuminati stuff in it, like Scanner Darkly, that Rick Linklater put out that I'm in with Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and Woody Harrelson, and others. And who's the actor? I met him a couple times shooting the film. We hung out with him, but then, I hung out with all the other folks a lot, but I didn't really hang out with him much. Who's the guy that plays Iron Man? Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Great actor. I always forget his name for some reason because I always end up calling him Morton Downey Jr. That's the talk show guy. But you know that film, they've got Illuminati symbolism everywhere because it's in Philip K. Dick's book. And the message is the Illuminati, the secret corporation, is drugging you to burn out your brain to make you a slave zombie. And they sit there and I also consulted on the film. I didn't just, I wasn't just in it. It's overtly Illuminati, and it's exposing it. But then you've got big budget things where it's pro-Illuminati. So everything in films is not programming. But obviously on Fox Television, on the Lone Gunman spinoff of X-Files, where the government hijacks a jumbo jet to fly into the World Trade Center as a pretext to attack Afghanistan and uses a terrorism drill as a pretext to claim hijackers are on board when it's really remote controlled. That's exactly what they did 6 months later. And then Dean Haglund, the star of the show, came to my house and said the CIA approached him and planted those plots on him. So, yeah, when you got something like that, it is 100% pre-programming to prepare the subconscious mind, but also to have like a public bragging rights, because the Illuminati is into magic, whether it's real or not. They believe the lesser magic, if they brag about it up front and let you know they're going to do it somehow, even if it's deceptively done, it gives them more power when they do the big act. But you got 30 seconds. Finish up.
Okay, the next point is at the end of the movie W, in the Oval Office, where Bush Sr. comes in to talk to George W. Bush Jr., and Bush Sr. says that Bush Jr., 200 years down the drain, basically, I'm paraphrasing. In other words, he was saying that the message was that Bush Jr. screwed up by not attacking Iran during 2006 to start the nuclear holocaust. 3.5 billion people are still alive, and they think they pissed off darkness, so they're trying to put the destruction of the planet on the fast track. That's my point.
No, I agree with you. They want to. That's why Cheney tried to start World War III with the Russians with the attack on South Ossetia. These people they're putting Al-Qaeda in everywhere. And it's just like, give your rights up, Al-Qaeda, but Al-Qaeda's good. And it's just like, ooh, Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda. It's like Woody Woodpecker. It's just totally insane in the contradiction that's there. Jason in Mass, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, thanks, Alex. I just wanted to let you know that, you really helped me unplug from the Matrix, and, now that I'm awake, I'm looking at all your documentaries and everything, and just seeing what's going on out there. And my point is that, when the president or whoever executes the martial law, I think one thing, we need everyone to awaken, but it's more so the fact that we need police and the military to awaken, because, these are the guys who, if there is ever a revolution or what's going on, these are going to be the guys that we're going to go against. And, it's up to the families and everyone else to really get into these guys' heads and let them know what's going on. They're attacking our own soldiers,
Well, that's why they're doing all this fake community policing where they get to know you and are real friendly but put handcuffs on you for no reason. So when they come get you, you don't resist. And that's why they want to get everybody arrested for no seatbelts and stuff now. The police have been told they have quotas so that you're in the system. They want you to be used to going to jail, even though you're not a criminal, to get you primed. We want to stop that. We want to circumvent that and head that off now. But you're right. One of our main focuses is to try to wake up military police. And because they're in the middle of it, they're some of the easiest to wake up, I found. Who's hard to wake up is a soccer mom who believes in the system, or some mainline yuppie worker who thinks they're part of the establishment and thinks anybody that cares is weak, and that, it's cute and fun to not care and only be to themselves. They are hard to get to. Or if a Republican's in, then people get partisan and, the agenda can't be bad. My guy's in, we win. Or if it's Democrats, Obama's in, come on, he's their guy, he's not bad. That partisanship, but that's not working anymore. And again, they're not going to call it martial law. They're going to call it civil emergency. And so they're already rolling out a type of martial law. We're already in the pot. It's bubbling. It's just not boiling completely throughout yet. And so have you noticed they're accelerating it all now?
Yeah, especially around, around your area about, all the tanks rolling out in St. Louis, and, seeing them implement all these, these strategic areas, and it's just, it's one of those things where, these guys really need to wake up. They're going, these guys that they're saying that they're working for, these guys, the families and everything are exposed to eugenics. They're exposed to all this stuff, too.
Oh, yeah, the bankers are going to take everything they've got. Again, police and bureaucrats and and corporate people that work in the system, which is like half the public or more, you got to understand, the globalists plan to shut things down in phases. You're not on the winning team. They wouldn't let you on their team. You're nothing but a schmuck, a dupe, a sucker to them. Henry Kissinger quoted Bob Woodward. He said, the military are dumb animals, cannon fodder that we use. And he was quoted by others saying similar things. So they'll have parades and tell you they care about you. They think you're dumb animals. So I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm street smart. I've got a decent intelligence, but I'm not some super genius. I'm smart, and I didn't decide to join evil because I realize it's a con game. because I couldn't even really join evil because it's a scam. It's a con. Plus, I don't want to join evil. And my instincts, my gut, my spirit burns with energy and desire to crush these people. So I can't even control myself. My bones, I think they say in Ezekiel, burn. I mean, isn't it Ezekiel in the Bible? I'm not comparing myself to a prophet, but it's a similar feeling. He's saying, look, God, you got me doing all this. They said they're going to kill me, but I can't shut up. Can you make me shut up? They say they're going to kill me, but I can't shut up. I can't shut up. And you know what? It's that feeling. It's not, oh, I've got courage, then I'm going to go fight evil. Folks, what's going to win this is not being able to control yourself, not being able to help going out and taking action. Thank you for the call. You know, I looked at the hundreds of entries that came in for the $5,000 round one prize Obama dictator poster, which is just about getting them out, posting things in the real world, not just internet, and defiling this tyrant, because he needs to be defiled. And I look at these people, the families, the children, the beautiful spirits they have. It's like I can see their spirit through their eyes, through their face, the reflection of it. And it's just so good to know there's so many good people. I salute you. We're going to do this together. We're going through this. This is going to happen one way or the other. So we've got to go ahead and just gut up and go through it together. Let's go ahead and talk to Mike in Illinois. Mike, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Just three things. You're always talking about co-op, you know, how the globalists like to co-op. For instance, say the Occupy movement, globalists co-opted.
Yes.
Okay, well, why not co-opt the globalist movement of one world government and say, yeah, we want it, but we want it implemented under the American Constitution?
Well, that's what Lord Monckton has said, just as a point of debate, because they're not going to ever do that. Go, oh, well, you're now admitting your world government, and it's authoritarian, and the EU elects parliaments, but they have no authority. The bureaucracy does, run by big banks, and you brag you're dictators. You see, it's not even so much arrogance. They've got to admit it now because we've exposed it. But they're like, well, we're the experts. Oh, really? Okay, well, how about we let nations vote if they want to be part of this? And they're like, oh, no, can't do that. So, yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. Anything global is so far away. It's going to become far-reaching, the faraway imperial seat. I don't think we'll ever have global government. I mean, I think you could have an alliance of free nations with a sacred code of liberty, freedom, private property, family, anti-eugenics, education on monetary issues, and that would be the society that went to the stars. But we don't have an alliance of the good countries. The truth is the bankers started taking over about 100 years ago all over the world. They already had England and Europe to a great extent before that for over 200 years. And they would actually go set up the enemy, not controlling them, but set them up and fund them through subsidiaries to then knock them down. I mean, that's smart. They play the part of the savior, but actually create the threat. And of course, they write books about that. Carol Quigley's written books. Others have. So it's all right there how they operate. I mean, look at what do you think of them publicly giving Libya and now parts of Syria to al-Qaeda to slaughter Christians and Jews? And it's in the newspapers, but it's kind of like, well, that's just what happens.
Well, it's outrageous. And, you know, all my neighbors, I bring it up and, you know, they don't say a word. They don't know what to say. You know, they've got their heads in the sand.
Yeah, but if I want to fly, some weirdos like, well, I got to grab your genitals because Al-Qaeda might be in there. And I'm just like, come on, man. This is a power grab. What, are you a felon? You think it's cool you're a felon? I mean, literally, it's a bunch of crooks that want their way with us who go, I'm doing it because of Al-Qaeda. Ha, ha, ha. I mean, what a sick joke. Anything else, sir?
Oh, no, just appreciate what you're doing, and I wish there was something more I could be part of and join, and I wish there was more of a movement, Dad.
Well, sir, listen. We've got planetinfowars.com. It's got like 30,000 members. I haven't really started promoting it yet because it's in beta, but it's starting to work really well. Had a few bugs. There's a ton of folks in Illinois. Go search the Illinois groups in there and get involved. Just start it. Go do an access show. Go get a local radio show. It's easier than you think. Take action. Let's talk to another caller here. Who's up next? Ricardo in New York. You're on the air. Welcome.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
I have two quick things I'd like to say. First, about the Stop Dictator Obama contest. I think the campaign. I think this campaign is really good, but I don't think it's enough because, like, you know, some people are just gonna see those posters and vote for Romney. So I was thinking after this campaign is over, we should, you know, launch one against Romney.
Well, Romney is not the president yet. I didn't launch one against Obama because he wasn't in office yet. But if Romney gets in and starts trying to restrict the Second Amendment, or he's agreeing with Obama on legalizing illegals, I saw that, or things like that, we probably will. Mainly, Obama is trying to go after the guns right now. Obama is the front man saying we're under UN command, the military. And so he's the guy with the power. He's got the Justice Department. He's who's dangerous. He's who it's dangerous to go up against. And so he's the big dog. He's the big front man. Stay there. I'm going to come back and explain more of this to you. It's about getting people out on the streets. I said it could be whatever poster you want it, as long as it's exposing Obama and his crimes. But, I mean, I cut my teeth exposing Clinton, then Bush, now Obama. I mean, they're all puppets. I've talked about it ad nauseum, but I'll get your take on the other side. He was asking if the Obama dictator contest is the best idea. Well, you heard how that started last Monday on air. Not this Monday, but last Monday, like 9 days ago. Obama was announcing that he would just make the illegal aliens legal. He's now announcing that they won't have ICE pick up illegal aliens when they even commit felonies in Arizona. He's got the UN giving orders and NATO giving orders to Congress. And he's the supposed president who's now become this traitor-in-chief. And so I said, that's it. We need to put out provocative signs. And I did see some newscast. Well, I saw some of the videos sent in where it showed news cameras there, but I never saw those news reports, so people should send those in. Now we're into phase 2. I said, you got 4 days till Friday. Post the signs in legal, lawful areas. Make your own poster, or use our posters that we've made, Obama dictator, to get people thinking about this, because they understand a president being a dictator. Because that's how he's acting, that's how he's behaving. They don't understand things like the private Federal Reserve. And the plan is to get enough of these up to get media coverage of it, because they did this with the Obama posters. It was in well over 100 newspapers, a whole bunch of TV stations. It was on news in Ireland, Japan, Norway, all these different places. This news came out. Hey, guys, I just forgot to do it during the break because I've got my children at work with me today. I hate to honeydew everybody here, but can I have a pollen burst, please, with a full glass of water? Thank you. Plus, I got a bunch at work, and I need my afternoon caffeine. Thank you. Oh, there you are. Thank you. I tell you what, awesome. I've got them. I just need water in here, because what's going to happen is I'll never have time to get out there and get it, and I'm starting to cough. Thank you. The third hour, sometimes I just get busy during the breaks and was talking to my children who are running around out there, and didn't go get my water. I'm going to put a little water cooler, I'm serious, right over here. One of those little floor units, like on a little bench. I can just get all the water I want instead of running you guys ragged once a day to get me some water. Anyways, I'm being sarcastic. At least I didn't like a Tabasco event I had a few days ago. And sure, we probably could have thought of a better thing, but it's pretty darn good. I mean, what do you have? Like Romney and Obama's faces split and then just say the two parties are a dictatorship or something? People already know that. I mean, we've had programs where we put up during flu season when that hoax was going that it was all a giant hoax and that, hey, honey, you're distracting me in the control room. I told you can come to work, but you can't come running around the office like that. It's the summer. My children are homeschooled. They're very good, but they're very excited at work. And my oldest daughter is running around out there. And, I mean, it's distracting when she comes up and starts putting her face up on the glass there. Thank you so much, guys. By the way, this is a product placement. I didn't do the product placement on purpose, but I might as well. Pollen Burst is the best energy drink I've ever had, full of B vitamins, trace minerals, and then a little bit of caffeine. And I get so much more energy instead of having afternoon coffee now. I used to have like 5, 6 cups a day. Now I just have a cup in the morning, maybe a cup when I get to the office, and then it's, and we're investigating it. No, I hear you, but I appreciate your call. I appreciate your call. We're now going to go ahead and take one more call, and then I'm going to get into the news here, okay? Let's go ahead and talk to Brian in California. You're on the air.
Hi, Alex Jones. I wanted to say that Obama declared martial law a month ago under executive order blocking prosperity of persons threatening the peace, security, or stability of Yemen. In the second paragraph, it says, I hereby declare a national emergency.
Well, they do that every year. We've always, since 1933 in the War Powers Act, been under martial law. That's why I try to explain it. But a physical martial law is being slowly, incrementally turned up. That's why the Sergeant of Arms gets a visit from the White House every year. It's on C-SPAN. They say, we're here with a letter from the president. And then they declare the emergency. And then that's how the TSA sticks their hands down your pants. It's how the national security state does all this. So, yes, I remember covering that. And every year he issues a new emergency. I mean, this is what we live under, is emergency rule, COG rule, yes.
I think Ron Paul knew about it, and that's why he stepped down when he did, because it was about the same day that this came out that he stepped down.
Well, let me just expand on that, sir. Did you hear what I said? Since the War Powers Act, 1933, they declared a national emergency and we never left it. That's how he could order, and I say it's an illegal order because it's fraud. Everyone turned their gold in, and they gave them paper back and then basically doubled the price of the gold in the next few years. The Firestone family got caught setting up dummy corporations in Europe to buy their gold back. Roosevelt declared martial law under the Reorganization Emergency Powers Act of 1933. And so Ron Paul stepped down because Ron Paul wasn't going to win the election. And I like Ron Paul. I like Rand Paul. They're good guys overall. I don't like seeing them go into more of a political mode when they were always the purists. It's not that I get mad if someone's political overall, if they've always been political. And I appreciate your call, sir. My issue was that I watched the letters going out to constituents and out to myself because I've given them both money. And it's like, we're still going to win. Get in there. Get the delegates. And I'm like, but then Rand comes on my show and says, have it. And here it is. I've got all this news. I'm going to come back and hit Biden. It's a depression for millions and millions of Americans. BuzzFeed has that video. Wow, Biden occasionally tells the truth. And then I've got what I mentioned last week is it dovetails with all this. Larry Summers, Washington Post, avoiding a global catastrophe. And then it says big banks crafting living wills in case they fail. CNBC, they're getting ready to totally implode like Enron. They're moving the assets out the back door right now. All that bailout money you give them. They never intended to bail jack diddly squat out. And you got one of the biggest cities yet going bankrupt, Stockton, to file for bankruptcy. Again, you can keep bailing it out. The money never goes to bail it out. The tickets the cops